Being a mobile sentry gun sounds cool, right? Well, if it does to you, then you're going to love this build. So this is a build where you're going to want to get up and close to your enemies and wreak havoc. We will be taking advantage of the bipods on flat off weapons to make this build viable. And obviously when using a bipod, you're going to move slow, but we have things in this build to negate that. So if you'd like to learn all about that, be sure to stick around at the end of the video. And as always, my builds are located in my Discord channel if you would like to download them. The link for the Discord will be in the description. So if you download the build, found this video helpful, or enjoyed it anyway, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. But with all that being said, let's get right into the build. Alright, so starting off with gear, if you remember the Rough Rider Amara build, this is going to play very similar to that. If you didn't see that video, I will post it up here in the corner. You can click on a little time card right there. But as you see, it's using some of the same gear, but we switched it up a little bit. So now we're going to be using Monarchs right here. This is a gun added with the Mayhem 2.0 update. These right here are insanely good for everything. They're really good for bossing, they're really good for mobbing, and they can just straight up destroy things. And as you see, this one we have an axe skill in. The next two magazines will have 50% bonus radiation damage. This one is very good for just general mobbing in the game. And then I have one with corrosive right here where it does 50% additional crowd damage to the next two magazines on axe skill in. These are insanely good, and if you didn't know, when you use the bipod on the Monarch, you actually get double damage. So you always want to be using the bipod as much as possible. Now, a thing though, when you use the bipod, you move extremely slow, and that is a big issue. So the reason I was saying a moving sentry gun at the beginning of the video is because we're going to be taking advantage of one of the new Mayhem modifiers, and that is Speed Demon. So what Speed Demon does, when you get a kill, you get to move 50% faster, and that can stack up to 3 times. So with 3 stacks of this, you can just move insanely quick, even with bipod mode. And we're also going to be negating the bipod movement speed a little more when we get to the skills of this build. Now going back over to the gear, we're also going to be using a yellow cake for bossing. So obviously we all know the yellow cake is insane. It's going to get you through the takedown. It can kill pretty much any boss in the game and just wreak havoc. Now I'll actually will be making a yellow cake dedicated build soon. If you like to see that, be sure to stick around. As yellow cake is already stupid good, this build just makes it top tier disgusting. Like, it's actually crazy. But getting into the next gun, we're actually using a reflex right here. This I have an annoying axe skill, and we get 50% bonus crowd damage. Now we're not really using this for damage. You can absolutely use it for ad clear if you want to, but this is mainly to be healing us, and we'll start talking about that in a little bit. But just know reflex is insanely good for keeping us alive with this build. Now getting into the shield, we're going to be using the Adrenaline Initiative. Now as you see, this is basically giving us 0 shields, just like the Rough Rider does, but this one is actually giving us increased weapon damage, and it's also giving us more health than what the Rough Rider does. Now we are losing a little bit of the damage reduction, but it's going to make up for the health and damage, trust me. Now as you see, we also have plus 23% reload speed. When shields depleted, it's always depleted, so we just have plus 23% reload speed, which is very good for things like the Monarch. And then we also have, on axe gun, we get 50% bonus corrosive damage for 10 seconds. Very, very good all around shield. The next, we have a Cloning Hunter Seeker right here, where on axe gun we get 50% bonus crowd damage. Now this is going to be very, very good paired with some of our skills that we get into in a second. But just know this grenade actually really helps this build out a lot. The next, we have a Breaker class mod where we get 25% more weapon damage, plus 5 grenade capacity, and plus 1 at 49 health regen. Now health regen is obviously very good with something like the Adrenaline Initiative because you just have health. So the health regen is going to help regen that up. And then you have plus 25% weapon damage to help all of this out. And then you have plus 5 grenade capacity as well to buff the Hunter Seeker even more. Then finally, you have a Pearl Benevolent Knowledge to get 2,719 more max health, and then plus 50% more magazine size, which is really, really good for the Monarch, and also something like the Reflux. And Pearl Benevolent Knowledge basically lets you stack damage up. You can get 105% damage just by shooting an enemy. Now getting into the skills of this build, we're going to be taking 5 points in Anima to get more static damage and duration. This is going to be really, really good for things like the yellow cake because the static damage already is just ridiculous. So we're going to be doing a ton of damage with that. Then we're putting 3 points steady hands to buff our handling and accuracy. This is going to be very good as well since we're going to be swapping back and forth a lot from our radiation and corrosive Monarch. Then we have 5 points of Tempest to buff our elemental damage for 30% and then shock damage for 20%. Very good skill from Mario. You just get 30% more damage, and it's really, really good. Now, I will say the reason I'm not taking Dread and the reason I'm using the normal phase grabs is we're not going to be using our action skill. We're going to simply just be using our action skill to proc our anoints. That is all. We're not using it for literally anything else. Now I have 3 points of wildfire just get to the bottom of the skill tree. Then I have 1 point deep water buff for magazine size by 20%, which again helps out a lot with all of our weapons except something like the yellow cape because we're getting more magazine size. Then I have 3 points indiscriminate to make our bullets ricochet. Obviously just a very good skill for Amara. Then I have 5 points of sustainment, so we get 20% lifesteal based on the elemental gun damage we do. So this is where something like the reflex comes in. The reflex is going to just chain corrosive everywhere, constantly heal you. You have 27,000 health with this adrenaline initiative right here, and you just cannot die. You literally have so much health, it's actually ridiculous. Then it's also going to help a lot with the monarchs because you can get really up close to people and just spray an enemy down and they cannot kill you. Then finally, I have 1 point forceful expression, so we do 18% bonus damage to whatever our axial element is, and that is going to be incendiary. Now, the thing I was talking about the Hunter Seeker right here, Hunter Seeker actually procs with sustainment. This, if you don't know what the Hunter Seeker does, essentially you throw the grenade and then the grenade is going to shoot bullets, and those bullets actually can proc your sustainment to give you health regeneration. Now also with your axe skill in anoints, popping your action skill is going to apply that to the grenade as well, so you're getting more damage with the grenade, which is also healing you with sustainment. And that's where the +5 grenade pass is going to help out a lot, because you can just be shooting your sentry gun, just chunking grenades, and you just cannot die. It's actually really crazy. You have so much health regeneration and so much just health coming back to you in general in every aspect. It's honestly a little ridiculous. But in the next skill tree, we're putting 5 points Root to Rise to get more max health, which is obviously very good. Then we're getting 5 points in Clarity, so we have a little health regeneration. And then if we ever have to use our action skill, we're getting double that health regeneration as well. And I have 6 points of personal space, where we get a bonus 72% damage dealt if we are close enough to the enemy, which obviously we're going to be. So the way this is going to work, basically whatever damage you're doing, you're getting 72% more of that damage, which is actually crazy because that's going to stack on top of forceful expression. We're getting 18% more, and the amount of damage you can do up close is just disgusting. Then we have 5 points in Help at Hands. Now, they actually fixed Help at Hands, so now when you use your action skill all the time, it keeps you proccing. Sometimes before it wouldn't re-proc, but now you're getting 40% damage reduction all the time, and you don't even have to phase grasp enemy to do this. You can fake grasp and literally always have 40% damage reduction, which is going to stack on top of something like the Adrenaline Initiative and the Breaker right here. So the damage reduction is absolutely insane. Then we have one with Nature right here. You get 25% more max health and then 40% elemental damage reduction, whatever axe skill is. And obviously we're taking Incendiary. Since we're not going to be having a shield, we need that Incendiary resistance. So we're getting 40% Incendiary resistance, which is really good. Now I'm putting 1 point Guardian Angel right here. So if we go and fight for your life, you're going to be getting right back up without dying. And a thing I'm going to mention really quick is, since we're using something like the Adrenaline Initiative, I'm going to be taking another Mayhem modifier called Roguelite right here. So you no longer enter fight for your life when you die, but when you kill an enemy, they drop the little instant health. So if you're using something like the Adrenaline Initiative, obviously every time you kill an enemy, which you'll be doing all the time because you can just melt people, you're getting health back from there. You get a health regeneration from your class mod and your Clarity right here. You're getting health back from your Hunter Seeker and your guns with sustainment. On top of all that, if you go down, you have Guardian Angel to also res you, so that negates the if you go down before dying, you completely die. So the Guardian Angel can res you immediately. It is very good. Something like Roguelite paired with this build is just absolutely disgusting. Then I have 1 point Do Unto Others right here. I just had an extra skill point, so I just threw it in here. This doesn't really do much at all, but sometimes you can see an orb flying around and it might stagger an enemy. Then I have 1 point Blitz right here, which might seem weird to some people, but what this does, we're not even using it for the melee damage, but you actually can lunge towards your enemies on an 8-second cooldown. So if you're in bipod form and you need to get to an enemy and they're in the range, you can actually just hit your melee button, and even if you're in bipod, it's going to lunge right towards them, and you're going to be right in front of them. So this is very good. This is an 8-second cooldown. So this is going to negate some of the slowness of the bipod on top of what Speed Demon is already doing. And we also still have more to negate this as well. And that is Fast Hands right here. We have 3 points in that. So we get 19% more reload speed, 36% weapon slot speed, and 36% motion speed. So this is very good. So the 36% motion speed, you can keep going in and out of the bipod. You can open it up, kill an enemy, shut it, move real quick, open it up, kill an enemy, shut it, move real quick, open it up, you know, and just the chain keeps going. Then on top of Speed Demon, obviously also buffing the movement speed. You move insanely quick. And then also, and if you can't take it out of the bipod form, Speed Demon is also just going to help out with that as well. And then you have Blitz right here as a backup, so if you need to lunge towards an enemy, you can get there. So as you can see, this build is very, very good. It is insanely tanky and it does a ton of DPS. This is a top tier mobbing build. If you want to do something like the Slaughter Shaft, this will get you through it with ease. It can get through the takedown as well, but I will say there probably are some other builds to get through the takedown a lot easier. But don't get me wrong, this can absolutely destroy the takedown if you want it to. Generally, going over the build one more time. Now essentially you have an insane amount of health, things like Root Taraz and One with Nature on top of the Adrenaline Initiative. And the Adrenaline Initiative is also giving you damage reduction on top of the Breaker giving you damage reduction, and Helping Hands is also giving you damage reduction, which is just really, really, really good. They're going to stack on top of each other. And like I said, you already have an insane amount of health. Your health regeneration is also insane with things like your class mod. Plus, you have sustainment healing you, and the Hunter Seekers can heal you as well with your grenades. And the class mod is also giving you more grenades. The artifacts also giving you more health. And then damage-wise, the artifacts give you more magazine, more damage. The Monarch already does the same amount of damage. The shield's also giving you more damage. Your artifacts giving you more damage. And it's just constantly everything just work together so well. The synergy with this build and all the gear is actually crazy good, and is by far one of my favorite builds to play on Amara. So if you just like to W key right towards your enemies and just destroy them, this is definitely the build for you. But that is gonna do it for the build, guys. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it is located in my Discord channel if you would like to download it. A link for the Discord will be in the description. So if you download the build, enjoy the video, or find it helpful in any way, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. But that's gonna do it all for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.